The Southern Miss Golden Eagles had a pretty successful year one in the Sun Belt Conference in 2022, and 2023 definitely has the possibility to hold bigger things. However, there are some things working against Southern Miss this year. There are some key pieces that you are going to have to replace on both sides of the ball, and your non-conference schedule, which we will look at later in this video, did you no favors. However, this is the Southern Miss team that can overcome this adversity and get back to a bowl game this year. Will that be the case for the Southern Miss Golden Eagles in 2023, or is this team going to have a downfall in the Sun Belt Conference this year? What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate, and welcome to my channel. I'm previewing and predicting all 133 FBS level college football teams this summer. Guys, it means I'm doing your favorite team, so hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you know when that video gets uploaded. But there are more ways than that you can help me support this channel. You're doing one right now by watching the video, and you can do more by liking, commenting, sharing, and anything else that you guys are willing and able to do to help me support my channel, because whatever you guys are willing and able to do helps me out a ton. Thank you for the support, the growth on the channel this summer. It's been amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. Let's talk about the Golden Eagles here in 2023 out of, again, the Sun Belt Conference. We continue with Sun Belt predictions. How do we do things around here? Well, we're going to go through a roster overview and look at who the team lost, who's coming back, and who's coming in through the transfer portal and recruiting class, as well as taking a look at the Golden Eagle football schedule, and we'll give it a game-by-game preview and prediction. But before we begin, water break. Looks like I'm out of water, but make sure you guys stay hydrated out there. And without further ado, let's talk about Southern Miss football here in 2023. Starting out with the quarterback room, well, you are going to lose some fairly experienced options out of this quarterback room. Well, I should say one very experienced option. That is Trey Lau. 119 pass attempts last year, 965 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions last season. Only 52% completion percentage from last season. And then Ty Keys only threw 17 passes last year, but he is going to be gone as well. So your leading passer from last season in Zach Wilkie, however you pronounce that last name again, I apologize for any mispronunciations. There should be a C in there as well. Apologies for the typo on the last name. But he had 1,151 yards, 8 touchdowns, but 9 interceptions last season. The touchdown-interception ratio will have to improve. Did have 57% completion percentage, which could be higher for him as well. So the quarterback situation may be getting fixed, though, with a transfer coming over from Clemson, former 3-star out of high school in Billy Wiles. So we'll see what Wiles is going to be able to do for this program, but he figures to be the starter for this team entering 2023. When you take a look at the running back room, Janari Dean is going to be gone on 62 carries, had 191 yards, 3 touchdowns for the team last season, but the rushing attack did not run through him. It ran through Frank Gore Jr. Again, I don't put Junior, the third, whatever have you, on my videos, but Frank Gore Jr., again, son of legendary NFL running back Frank Gore, 1,382 yards, 9 touchdowns, 6.1 yards per carry. The rushing attack will again be flowing through him here in 2023. And then Kenyon Clay is coming back to figure to be that backup for this season here in 2023. You also do get a transfer coming over from Memphis in Rodriguez Clark. He's a 3-star transfer according to 24/7 Sports. Now, wide receiver room. Let's talk about that. Your leading receiver from last year, Jason Brownlee, is going to be gone. Had 55 catches for 189 yards and 8 touchdowns last season, all 3 categories of which he led the team. He actually even led the team in average yards per catch among guys who had 10 or more catches, with 16.2 yards per reception. However, you still got some very solid players coming back here, as Jacarius Caston will be coming back. Ty Mims is back as well. That was your second and third leading receivers from last year. Frank Gore happened to be number 4 in that category, by the way. And then Latrell Jones will be returning to this team as well. Also had over 100 yards receiving. And then you do get a transfer that comes over in the wide receiver position here as well. He'll help give a boost to this wide receiver room. He is none other than Tyquan Henderson, 67th rated overall player coming out of a community college or a junior college. So he will give a nice boost to this wide receiver room. Tight end room, well, there's only one name you need to know. Was the 5th leading receiver last year. Was the only tight end, according to most stat sheets, that caught a pass last year in Cole Cavallo. He comes back. And on the offensive line, you're going to lose Tykeem Doss. I believe he went to the NFL. But Bryson Mays, John Bolding, Bryce Ramsey, and Jaquan Scott will all be back to the offensive line this season. Now, defensively, what can we expect from this team? Well, this guy here on the defensive line, and Dominic Q1, only 21 tackles, but 10 sacks last year, was a force on the defensive line, making, or I should say, wrecking havoc. That's a guy that they're going to miss on the defensive line this year. But who comes back? Well, Jalen Williams, Christian Booth, Quentin Bivens, and Josh Ratcliffe, among many others, all very experienced options, all will be coming back to the offensive line, or defensive line. Apologies, looking at the wrong line there. All coming back to the defensive line here in 2023. When you take a look at the linebacking room, well, you are going to lose 2 top 3 tacklers from last season. In fact, they both had the exact same number of tackles from last year. That's Santrell Latham and Dalen Gill. 87 tackles apiece. Latham with 4 sacks, still with 4.5 sacks, mixing some passes defended between them as well. You had a pretty solid 1-2 combo at the linebacker position that you have lost. However, there is a lot coming back. Avery Hubbas, Hayes Maples is back this year after missing last season. TQ Newsome, and then Jaleel Clemens, all coming back to this linebacking unit. And then you do get a transfer in Jalen Sims that comes over to this program as well. He should be a nice boost to the running back room. Or not running back room, linebacker room. I keep seeing the things. Whatever, I'm sure you guys get it. Mistakes happen. I apologize. Defensive back room. Let's see what that is looking like there. Malik Short, your leading tackler from last season. 99 tackles, 3 pass defended, 3 interceptions from last year. He is gone, as well as Natrone Brooks, Eric Scott, and Cameron Harrell, all of which very solid defensive backs for this team, and all of them will be gone. But you do get a very good player coming back, and that is Jay Stanley. Led the team with 7 passes defended, led the team with 5 interceptions last season as well, and team's 4th leading tackler, 61 tackles, mixed in a sack and a half. Very good defensive back. Jay Jones and Brendan Tolles also come back. And then you get a lot of transfers coming in. MJ Daniels and Dylan Lawrence are 2 Power 5 transfers. Former 3-stars out of high school that'll play big minutes for this team. And then Quez McNeil, I believe, is the JUCO Community College transfer that enters in to this program as well. Your head coach is Will Hall, offensive coordinator Sam Gregg, and defensive coordinator Dan O'Brien. As we take a look at the Golden Eagles football schedule in 2023, yikes. You see that non-conference schedule now, right? Yeah, it is pretty rough. Hey, any game at home is going to be underlined, and any game on the road will be in italics or that slanted text. Any game you see in green is a game I think the Golden Eagles are going to be able to win easily. Any game in yellow is a game that, well, I think could be a back and forth 50-50 type game, but the Golden Eagles is going to be able to win, and red is a loss. You should start out with your season against the Alcorn State Braves with a very, very nice win, but then things get hard really, really fast. You're not going to beat Florida State on the road. That is a Florida State team that I really, really like entering 2023. In fact, I have even been on record saying that I think they can make the college football playoff and picking them to do so because I think that team is that good. Jordan Travis is there, a lot of other weapons on that team, and that is a team in Florida State that I think is going to be very, very good this year. No shot for the Golden Eagles to beat them on the road, in my opinion. But this one is interesting right here, right? The Tulane Green Wave. Hey, these 2 teams played last season. You want to know what happened? Everyone remembers how good Tulane was last year, right? Southern Miss was one of the teams to beat Tulane last season. Now, Tulane, I think, is going to learn from their mistakes that they made in last season's game. And again, this is a Southern Miss team breaking in a lot of new pieces. I think Tulane is really, really talented this year. Michael Pratt comes back. The team that represented the group of 5 in a bowl game from last year, I think absolutely could do so again this season. And that is a team that I really, really like here in 2023. I do not think Tulane, or actually, I do not think Lightning is going to strike twice and Tulane beats Southern Miss. They learn from last season and hand the Golden Eagles their 2nd loss here of 2023. However, I think the Golden Eagles are going to bounce back nicely, get a road win against Arkansas State, not a team that I think is going to perform all that well in the Sun Belt Conference here in 2023. Now, apologies for the blank white lettering here that you see. They should be a lot more colorful than they are. Just some graphics things going on there. But Texas State. I talked about Texas State in my Louisiana video, and I don't know if I've mentioned this throughout any of my other Sun Belt previews, but I've mentioned them as a team that possibly could be able to do some damage this year in the Sun Belt Conference. Look, setting it straight, setting it plain and simple. That is a team in Texas State that added a lot of very talented transfers. It's a team that I think definitely could be a sleeper in the Sun Belt Conference this season, and definitely should be a team that everyone in the Sun Belt should not take lightly. And I think they are going to win at least one game that they shouldn't this year. Yeah, they may not make a bowl game. Yeah, they may not win a Sun Belt title, but can I guarantee you one thing, and it's that this team is going to fight, they're going to be competitive, and again, they're going to win a game that they shouldn't this year. The one I think that they're going to win is the Southern Miss Golden Eagles here. I think while the Golden Eagles still trying to get some of these transfers to fit out, Texas State will come in there on the road and be able to pull off a win against the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. So the Golden Eagles there starting off with a 2-3 record, but I think that quickly gets bumped back up to 3-3. When I take a look at Old Dominion, that's a team that lost a lot to the transfer portal, especially in the wide receiver room. Elite Jennings is a name that comes to mind. Yes, you do have a lot of solid key pieces returning defensively, but I think the Southern Miss rushing attack will be a little bit too much for Old Dominion to handle, and this passing attack that could be improved this year as well. So I do think that you get the better of Old Dominion there. Starting out 3-3, not too bad, but the second half of your schedule is absolutely brutal. After your bye week, you got to go on the road and play South Alabama, and that's just not a team I think that you are going to be able to beat here. That's a team I really like in the Sun Belt Conference this season. They're returning Carter Bradley at quarterback. They're returning a whole lot of talent from a team that already won 10 games last year, and it's a team that absolutely can win 10 games again here in 2023. A team I really like entering this upcoming season. Definitely a team I could see representing the group of 5 in a New Year's 6 bowl game. Yeah, you heard me right. South Alabama could absolutely do so. A lot of talent on that team going on the road. Tough enough to play them. Tough enough to play them when you're at home, much less go on the road. That's a game you're going to lose. And I also think you will lose against the App State Mountaineers there as well. That is an App State team that, yes, lost a ton in the linebacking unit. And if Frank Gore and some of these running backs can get to the second level, watch out. It could create havoc for this App State team. However, App State is crafty. They have some pretty good options at the quarterback position, a very experienced wide receiver room that I think will be able to beat this Golden Eagle secondary and will be able to come away with a win for the App State Mountaineers. I also think that defense will be able to make enough plays against this Golden Eagle offense to be able to slow down just enough for the Mountaineers to be able to go ahead and win that game. I do think University of Louisiana Monroe will be a pretty solid win for the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Not a team that I really like out of the Sun Belt Conference this season. I do not think they will perform well within their own conference or maybe even outside their conference as well. And then you get to this game against the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns, a very important game for both teams as you try to build momentum towards the end of the season to make a bowl game for Southern Miss. This is a very, very important game right here. Maybe, again, you end up beating Texas State, and this is the game that you need after looking at your last 2 games and saying, oh boy, those are going to be tough ones to win. If we can win this one now, it would be nice, but I think you fall just short. I think Louisiana has enough guys, has enough pass rushers up front to be able to wreak havoc with this sort of new look pass game. I also think those guys up front are going to be able to slow down Frank Gore Jr., and I think that offense in Louisiana will be a little too much for this Golden Eagle defense to handle. So I do have Louisiana on a Thursday in the state of Louisiana. Again, this is a road game for Southern Miss. I think the Ragin' Cajuns are going to be able to win. And then, quite simply, your last 2 games, I do not think you'll be able to win. On the road at Mississippi State, much like on the road at Florida State. While Mississippi State may not be as good of a team at Florida State, that's still a team out of the SEC that's scrappy, that's going to play hard. Will Rogers is coming back. Not a game I think you're going to win. And then Troy, same story with South Alabama. And Tulane there as well. Definitely a team that I could see representing the group of 5 in a New Year's 6 bowl game. They won the Sun Belt last year. They can do it again this year. Really like Troy. A lot of key pieces coming back. So Southern Miss, I do have struggling this year. Now, the 4-8 record is not very indicative of what this team is. I think this is a pretty solid team. I think this is a team that's going to compete in the Sun Belt Conference, going to perform really well. Just that out-of-conference schedule is really, really brutal. Again, Alcorn State probably the only guaranteed win, and maybe you get Tulane again. But this is a team that record-wise I see struggling, although if things go right, they could make a bowl game here in 2023. That's my thoughts, preview, prediction. Let me know yours in the comment section below. And as always, Remember to play hard, but tailgate harder. See you guys in the next video.